Teacher Talking Sports with those would do how we live in. Today is the last day of the MLB regular season. We got some big games going on to decide divisions, NL wild card. But yesterday I did a video, my all mostly went undrafted fantasy baseball team. So today I'm going to go to the other side and do the all disappointment team. The catcher, first base, second base, shortstop, third base, three outfielders, five starting pitchers, and a relief pitcher. You will see the average draft position and overall position. That was taken from Fantasy Pros, a website that takes the average from, I believe, five different websites and gives an average overall from those five different sites. So let's get into it. When I get to outfielders and starting pitchers, they will be listed in the order that their average draft position was. So catcher, Adley Rutschman of the Orioles, the second overall catcher taken on average, only behind William Contreras of the Brewers. Of course, really struggled in the second half of last season, and that continued this year. And also, let me state that injuries can't be the reason a guy's on here. So someone like Corbin Burns, guys like that will not be on here. But a guy could have been injured if he struggled on the field. He was still eligible. So a guy like Adley Rutschman has played just 89 games, but in those 89 games, a 223 batting average, just 9 home runs on the year, 29 RBIs, 37 runs scored for a guy who, again, was on average the second catcher taken. Man, this guy was supposed to be the future superstar catcher in the league. Looked like he might be that after his first couple seasons. MVP finishes second and ninth, but has really struggled for a year and a half now. First base, and I went a little deeper in the position. Guy who was taken 174th overall. On average, but he was so bad and spent much of the year in the minors. I'm talking about Michael Toglia of the Colorado Rockies. He's not the only Rocky on here, and of course the Rockies were miserable. But last year, yes, he only batted .218, but connected on 25 homers, even stole 10 bases. So you figured another year he could improve that average, hit for more power. Nope. Down to a 190 batting average and 11 homers in 306 at-bats. Last year was 25 homers in 399 at-bats. Just 22 runs scored. Part of the reason why the Rockies have been so miserable. Second base, Marcus Semien on average is sixth second baseman taken. And again, some of these guys are eligible at multiple positions. So, I thought about Mookie Betts, who was the first second baseman taken on average, but he did warm up as the season went along. Semien, you have to wonder if his days of being a star fantasy productive player are over. 230 batting average, 669 OPS, not too far off from last year, but it was the year before. He finished third in MVP voting. His 15 homers, there is least in quite some time. So Rangers had some great pitching, not so great offense, and Marcus Semien was part of that. I mean, I thought about Ozzie Albies as well at second base. Shortstop, another Colorado Rocky, and another one who was taken a little bit later. Thought about Volpe, but Volpe at least hit for more power and stole more bases than Ezekiel Tovar of, again, the Colorado Rockies. 256 batting average, just 9 homers. Last year, 269 and 26 homers. I mean, I know doubles aren't always a stat in leagues. Led the NL with 45 doubles last year. That's dipped to 18. Yes, he's played less, 94 games, 157 last year. But just 33 RBIs and 44 runs. Not a good season for Tovar and his fantasy owners. Third base, Austin Riley, who was one of the first third basemen taken, fourth on average, and was about a third-round pick. Last year was a down year for him, but was the 3 previous years, 7th, 6th, and 7th in NL MVP voting. 2 Silver Sluggers in that time. This year batted .260 with 16 homers, barely over a 100 OPS plus. Uh, Limited to 102 games. He hasn't played since August 2nd, and 3 straight years hitting over at least 33 homers, and now it's 35 in the last 2 years combined. Outfield, Jackson Merle, Padres. There were a bunch of outfielders I considered, but Merle was on average an early third round pick and regressed from his excellent rookie season that saw him finish runner-up for NL Rookie of the Year and ninth in NL MVP voting. 261 batting average, down from 292. 16 homers, down from 24. But the most noticeable change, last year he had 16 stolen bases. This year, 1. Next outfielder, O'Neill Cruz, another guy, expected to be the top offensive guy on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Of course, a StatCast legend. 38 steals, leads the NL. That's about it, though. 200 batting average, so I'm not sure if he was in the lineup today, but let's see if he ends the year over or under the Mendoza line. 20 homers compared to 21 last year. 62 runs, 61 RBIs. At the age of 26, expected to take another step forward. Actually turns 27 in October 4th, but when season's over. Really a miserable year with the bat, and again, might not even hit over the Mendoza line. This guy was injured for much of the year, but he was so bad when he played, I had to include him. 24th outfielder taken on average, Anthony Santander. Now, Santander going to today, and I should mention all stats are from yesterday's game, Saturday, September 27th, but 53 games, batted 177 with 6 home runs, 18 RBIs, 15 runs scored. I mean, he's never been a high average hitter. Last year, just 235, but he had 44 homers last year, 28 the year before that, 33 the year before that. It's kind of crazy. He was the big free agent signing from the Blue Jays, and I know last time I checked they were up 5-1, so looking like they're going to win the AL East in spite of that. Starting pitchers, 10th starting pitcher taken on average, Dylan Cease of the Padres. Now, Cease still struck out a ton of batters, 215 in 168 innings, but that ERA rose more than a run from last year at 4.55. Last year the whip was at 1.07. This year it's at 1.33. So yes, the 11.5 strikeouts per 9 innings are excellent. But he also won 14 games last year and just 8 wins this year in just one less start. Aaron Nola, Philadelphia Phillies. Now, it's been Aaron Nola, the guy who looks like he could be a future ace earlier in his career and always been a solid pitcher, but really came off the rails this year. 17 starts, 5-10 record, 6.01 ERA. I mean, at least did strike out more than batter per inning, but a 1.35 whip. I mean, last year was his highest in quite some time at 1.2, so way higher than that. Again, just 5 wins in 17 starts. The Mariners' offense really improved. They won the AL West, but Bryce Miller, very disappointing year. Also made 17 starts. His ERA nearly doubled. Last year was 2.94. This year, 5.53. 72 strikeouts and 86 in the third innings. Last year had a whip under 1. This year, 1.39. But yeah, in spite of that, they're going to make the playoffs. And, for a fan base who's never even seen a World Series appearance, I don't expect Bryce Miller to start in the playoffs. Bailey Ober of the Minnesota Twins, coming off a very good year. Barely over a 1 whip. This year was a 1.3 whip, but in his 27 starts, just 6 wins and a 5.10 ERA. The past 2 years, he struck out more than a batter per inning. This year had just 120 strikeouts and 146 in the third innings. And this guy's pitched better of late, but, got off to such a rough start that I decided to include him. That is Sandy Alcantara, Miami Marlins. Of course, the 2022 NL Cy Young winner. Didn't pitch as great in 2023, missed all of last season. This year stayed healthy, but in his 31 starts, a 5.36 ERA, a pretty good whip still at 1.27, but not a guy who's going to strike out a lot. 7.3 batters per 9 innings, 142 and 174 and 2/3 innings. And let's end with the relief pitcher, Devin Williams. On average, was the second relief pitcher taken, and finished with a negative WAR according to Baseball Reference. He's pitched better of late, but he's lost his closer job, so just 18 saves. A 4.87 ERA. This guy who had under a 2 ERA each of the last 3 seasons. Still strikes out a ton of batters, yes, but also had a whip under 1 each of the last 2 seasons, 1.13 this year. So, other than the ERA, he, especially pitching for the Yankees, his disappointments are going to be magnified, but definitely not what was expected from his owners. I should have mentioned some other guys. Outfielders I considered a bunch. Michael Harris II, Luis Robert, Lawrence Butler, Dylan Cruz, Tyler O'Neill, Brenton Doyle. Third base I also considered Mark Vientos. First base, I really thought I was going to go with Christian Walker, but he's played better of late. Other starting pitchers, Zach Gallen, Jack Flaherty, and Tanner Scott was also consideration relief pitcher. Let me know some of your most disappointing picks in fantasy baseball. Hopefully you're able to recover if you took like 1 or 2 of these guys, but if you took more than that, it's highly unlikely that you made it to your fantasy finals. Anyhow, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.